So last September, I had a big birthday. I turned 50 years old. And the thing is, by the time you're 50, of course, you've already turned 40 and 30 and 21, so you've done all the things one does to celebrate big birthdays. You throw big parties or take big trips or hide. But at 50, I just didn't feel like I could do any of those things. I'd done those things, and I was 50 and it needed to be marked. And the only thing I could think of that I hadn't done was give something back. So I figured what I would do is find this organization, an amazing organization called Right Girl in Los Angeles, and give something back to them. They have an amazing 10-year track record of 100% graduation rate from high school, 100% placement rate for college, of these extraordinary girls from underserved areas whom mentors work with to teach them self-confidence and self-esteem through creative writing and self-expression. And these girls are already out in the world doing remarkable, extraordinary things. So, of course, they always need money. Now, I don't have a lot of money to give them personally, but I have all these weird skills I've collected in my 50 years on the planet. So I thought, hey, I'll take everything I know about advertising and performing and writing, and I will create a big campaign to raise money and attention for these very deserving girls and women. I called the campaign 50 for 50, the idea being I would raise $50,000 in the 50 days leading up to my 50th birthday. And I do what you do in these cases. You create a crowdfunding page and a video with a snappy headline and a bunch of copy and perks to give away. We got some kind businesses to donate some, but we did a lot of writing type perks, and the girls made poems, and we did downloadable, there we go, PDFs and MP3s, and I had a group of designers create desktop wallpapers illustrating quotes from famous writers, and we got the subversive cross-stitch community involved in the project. They were very generous with their time as well. But to show people that I had skin in the game, as it were, I said, okay, if we raise all 50K in the 50 days, that on my birthday at a gigantic party/fundraiser for which everyone in attendance will pay $50, because it's for the girls and no one gets in free, I will shave my head down to the skin. Right. So, I am happy to say that we reached our goal 10 days early. And we went on to raise an additional $11,517 by my birthday, and because this was apparently unusual and, good, an anonymous foundation made a one-time matching grant of $50,000. So on September 13th of last year, a group of deserving girls and women got $111,517, and I got a new haircut, which it turns out I like. So the funny thing is, people will hear this and they're like, wow, that's a lot of money. You must be like really good on Twitter. I like Twitter. I like to crack wise, but no, not so famous on Twitter, not so good with Twitter. And then they say, it's these sad girls who are sad. People want to give money to sad girls. I'm like, have you looked at the world lately? What planet are you from? If sad people got the money, we wouldn't have the world we have. No. Plus, these girls, they are fun and exciting and inspiring and extraordinary. No, I think what happened was a phenomenon that my unofficial, same haircut mentor, Seth Godin, talks about, which is delight. He says that as human beings, we are drawn to things that delight us. And then, because we just love them so much, we want to share them. It makes us feel like we're part of something bigger than ourselves. So at the most basic level, this is like one kid bites another kid's finger, right? And then sooner or later, 400 million of us have seen this. But then engineering it gets a little tricky, because the simpler and more delightful it looks, usually there's a lot going on in the background, learning how to dance backward in high heels, right? Mostly what we do is we make a little thing, right? And it's like, I got a good little thing and people should know about it. I got this. And then we spend a whole lot of time talking about it on Facebook. And it gets noisy out there and people start hiding you and not paying attention. Shh, don't tell anyone. I think a better way to look at it is what our friends in the for-profit world who are doing it right are doing. They make a great product or service that we really, really love and want to interact with. And then we're so excited about using it and we love it so much, they give us a few little ways to share it. Yes, right. So they're making it easy for us to remember and to share, and they're making it fun to be a part of. That's it. That's all there is. However, not so easy, really, and not always so fun. We learned a bunch of stuff doing 50 for 50, though. I'd like to share it now. And so maybe if you have an extraordinary idea, you can get out there and do it. The first thing is make it easy to remember. I did not decide to raise $50,000 because it was like the first number that popped into my head. Oh, yeah, sure. It was because it would be memorable. It was big, and it also matched my birthday, and then there was this whole 50 days before thing. So we tried to make everything aligned as much with the 50, 50, 50, 50, 50 to drive it into people's heads. The other thing we did was we made everything about writing as much as possible. Some other generous sponsors stepped up and said, oh, we'll give you something, like, how about a lawnmower? I'm like, yeah, it doesn't really fit so well with the whole girls and writing thing, but thank you, lawnmowers are good. The other thing is women. Why not women? It should be women-centric. I know some great guy writers and terrific guy creative people, but this had to be at the women and the girls. So we did interviews with 50 women writers, and we posted them every day, and they went out and told their audiences who were delighted. It was great. Also, sometimes we poo-poo in this little, humble, nice world we live with love and give and peace. We poo-poo the trappings, like visual branding. Don't poo-poo. It lets people know where they're at. It doesn't have to be fancy. This is just my hand-drawn frame, and I ain't no great artist or anything. We also, as much as possible, stuck my gigantic, bald, photoshopped head everywhere you could, especially on things that you could sell for money, and that people could walk around and, be ads for us, because that makes it easy to share. Now, at the basic level, when you're sharing something, go ahead, make a Facebook page. Go ahead, pre-roll some tweets. Some people just want to hit a like button, and they just want to retweet. That's okay. Everyone can have a job. But spend your time, and start earlier than I did, making the story, getting the story all worked out. It takes a long time to get a story kind of worked out. It took me 18 months, and I should have started earlier, to work the pieces out in my head, and then a marathon 72-hour writing session beforehand, and then make it shorter, because some people aren't going to read that much, and then make it even shorter, because some people aren't going to read that much, because people, they got a lot to do. Also, make it fun to be a part of. It doesn't have to be whoop-de-doo fun if that's not the tenor of your campaign. Ours was a birthday party, so it fit. But, take a page from Tom Sawyer's book. You're not asking people to come over and do free manual labor. You're saying, hey, come to a button-making party. At the deli, we'll have pastrami and beer. It'll be great. Don't post boring stuff on Twitter. Post yourself in a shower cap getting your scalp oiled with a cocktail. Why not? If you're going to make videos, make them something somewhat entertaining. I mean, they're exhortations for dollars, of course, but we tried to have some fun with them. And hey, I'm not above taking my clothes off if it's for a good cause. Finally, you hear a lot of we in all these talks, but today, in this particular campaign, in this case, definitely a lot of we involved that take a very communist attitude from each according to his or her abilities, to the girls, all the money, everything, because that's who it's for. But don't ask your videographer friends or your photographer friends to do the music. Ask your musician friends and your performer friends. Works much better. Have your foodie friends make the food, and your former colorist who's been shaving his own head for years in an act of symmetry to shave yours. Why not? Have your designer friends do their design magic. It's really, really, they'll enjoy it much more. And also, make sure there is someone there to talk you down off the ledge when things aren't going so well. My friend Jill Murphy spent a lot of time on the other side of that window talking me down off the ledge when the numbers weren't so high for the day. The most important thing, I think, though, that we bring when we're doing our own little thing out there, when you're the crazy person leading the parade, because that's all you are, crazy bald person sometimes, is something my friend Merlin Mann says, which is to care. It's so simple, but it really, really helps focus everything down to a point. When you want that thing more than anything else, and I really, really wanted to not be so selfish. Initially, I confess, because an ex-boyfriend said, "You are the most selfish person I ever met." I said, "Oh yeah? I'll show you." Not so noble, but then after I started, I did care, and I did want it, and I saw what was happening around me, and I said, we have to do this. These girls are amazing, and they need to be out there, and they need to be helping the world, so let me help them in every way I can. If you do these things, I believe that you can give yourself the summer vacation of a lifetime, something that is truly, truly extraordinary. Thank you so much.